Beautiful people, Wassail, beautiful people. There's so many car alarms going off around here. I'm not sure we'll be able to hear anything. It's crazy. I'm in Peru. Oh, look. I wonder whether... no. I'm looking for something to lift the... to lift it up. I only need a couple things. I might use the boxes of things. Wassail. Wassail Cafe. Wassail Space Monk. Wassail Lisa Richards. Wassail Once in a Blue Moon. Wassail Amy Gill. Wassail Sarah. Wassail Sandra. So, Wassail Eve. So, I'm here. I'm in Peru. Oh no, I need two. Hang on, 2 boxes. I might put all 3. And then the wind can just blow all the cards away. Wassail Lisa. I'm getting cards out, but I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. I'm just going to use all the boxes to lift the thing up a little bit. I didn't plan anything. I'm going to lunch in just over an hour with Olga, because Olga's in Peru. And so I've been invited to go and meet her sisters and their husbands, and that seems a bit better. So, thank you. It's cold. It's cold in Peru. So, I put the cards under that lip so that they won't blow away. So, I have flown to Peru. I'm in Lima. I was here 5 years ago, and I listened to Olga, and she always says this is a crazy place and you very quickly forget. Wassail, Francisca. And actually this morning I woke up and I read a long article about heartbreak, and obviously I've been through heartbreak and how troublesome it is, and I knew I had to sit and try and do some kind of communication, because my heartbreak has been going on now for about 4 years, and there's all kinds of aspects of building the room deck, which very excitingly is sort of at the pre-printing stage now, so we can do a little print run thanks to Kathy working so hard with me, and I've washed my hands of all of that, and I've gone, you do it, Kathy. So that will be having a print run. But this morning I woke up, read this article about heartache, and realized how so many aspects of this journey by a woman called Annie Lord I've been experiencing, including separating every aspect of life out into lots of different boxes so that you can analyze them. And I realized I did a really strange one. I got off the plane, I'd paid for a transfer to this hotel, and it said they only wait 45 minutes on your plane arriving, and I got out and there was no one holding up my name, and I didn't really know what to do because the luggage took longer than 45 minutes. And so I assumed that my driver had gone, and I had no phone connection, and this guy came up and he said, "Oh, I'm your taxi," and I said, "Are you?" And I knew he wasn't, but I just needed to get to my hotel. I was tired, the flight was overnight, I hadn't slept. And he was just so gorgeous and handsome. I just thought, I'll sit in the car with you. And then a very long-winded con of a story appeared. And I got in the car and we were driving. He said, where's your hotel? And I thought, look, I just need you to admit to me you're not my driver. And then everything's fine. If we can just go into an energy of truth, we'll be fine. So I said to him, I don't know my hotel. I said, you're supposed to know. I booked you. And eventually he admitted it. We pulled over. He said, I'll drive you back to the airport. I'm sorry. I said, there's no point. The car's not there now. So anyway, and we had a long journey. He was a very naughty man. He kept trying to con me, and I'm like, look, I don't care about the con. Just get me to my hotel. But so I've woken up this morning and I feel like we need to have a look. There's a nice article that you can read in the description box. I've linked to the Guardian article, and it's about how science is beginning to realise. They've done lots of research for a very long time about what happens to the chemicals in our bodies and our brains when we fall in love. And you know, they're always trying to understand that chemical process, but they've done very little research into what happens when we lose that love. And it started sort of becoming aware in 2004. And it's noisy. Peru. Honestly, the car alarms, it's crazy. So yes, heartache. There was some kind of trauma that happened. Nothing to do with love as such. It was a natural problem that happened in Japan, and lots of people started going to their doctors and saying, I have a pain in my heart. Shh, Carl, stop it. And they've discovered that the left ventricle expands, it changes shape, but unlike a heart attack, it's not clogged. But so they're beginning to see the fact that there is a real physiological transformation in the heart when we lose love. There's all kinds of studies that show lying alone in bed, you roll over and the empty bed is almost like smelling smoke in the house, and the same parts of the brain light up as if you've suffered from burns. So there's also really interesting information on how difficult it is for us to move through this. There's a blame game. We hate the other person. We do the what if. We want them to come back. We want them to say sorry. And there's all these interesting things that our psychology has to get through. And as I say, I've been on my own since I broke up with my ex. And even that, you have to stop saying. So for 4 years, and I've spent 4 years, all being burned by somebody. Yeah, exactly. It's a great article, and actually there's a link to another article by the woman Annie Lord that she wrote when she had her breakup, and it fascinated me, and it started me thinking how many of these moments where we say we're ready again are true. And I've spent 2 years with all of you, receiving all of your love, and yet I've spent most of that time totally alone. And I've come here to Peru because I knew Olga was here at the moment, and it would be nice to catch up with a friend. And as I say, I'm going for lunch there in a while. I have to keep an eye on the time. It's midday here now. So I've got about an hour. And I need to just kind of look at these aspects because I need to bring myself back to the world. And I kept thinking that this isn't just heartache for losing somebody, because I lost my parents. But this is also a kind of heartache that I think the whole world has been going through for the last 2 years, where we've had all our connections taken away from us. And so in many ways we're all suffering a kind of psychological trauma of heartache because of COVID and the transformation of the world. And it seems at the moment that we need to be looking at what love really means. And I don't know the connections between the chemicals that create love and the chemicals that we feel when we lose love, whether that's a relationship or somebody dying in our family. There's so many different aspects. So I just thought, let's just dig in. Wassail Shania. So read the article. It's in the Guardian newspaper. The link's in the description box. If you don't know where the description box is, you just touch the little grey tiny upside down triangle and you should find it. So the article's interesting. It has some really fascinating science statistics, which I'm never sure how much I fully believe their numbers, but 15% of people never recover from heartache. Whether that's because they don't know how to or they can't, we don't know. And there was an awful bit in the article that was about meadow voles and how they're very monogamous and they suffer trauma. But for science to understand this, they get these meadow voles, and then once they're properly in love with each other, they separate them just to see how sad they are. And I'm like, wow, some scientists do some pretty mean things. So I don't know. Oh, it's your birthday. I know it's your birthday soon, but I can't remember what day, Eve. Is it your birthday today, Eve? Is it your birthday today, Eve? Oh, September the 4th. I know, I should remember that. It's the day before my nan. I'm so sorry. I'll sing you happy birthday on your birthday. Also, I'm only in this hotel for 2 nights and I haven't done anything about staying anywhere else yet. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. So let's just ask the cards what they might talk about. Oh, I was going to read, because obviously that was the thing, the Heartache Poem. So let's find this Heartache Poem, because I was thinking I've got 2 for you. I've actually got the Heartache Poem and I've got the Leche Poem, because I feel like they really caught the essence of what this means. I mean, as I said earlier, it's like the same parts in your brain light up when you lose love as if you've been burned. So let's find the poems first. As I said, they're nearly, oh look, you can see that really quite well today, apart from the shine. So this is the card Heartache, and here is the Heartache Poem. Card number 53, which is an H, change. This is a heavy poem. This really is a heavy poem. So yeah, happy birthday Virgo season. Now let's give you some heartache. So, sobbing, throbbing, dark sparks grab hold of the heart, crushing the soul's freedom. Dread threads reach out with serpentined hooked fangs that sink and pierce deep. Why? cries the choking soul, but the deep, dark hole opens wider, and anger tangles itself around, cutting harsh lines into the flesh, victimizing us. It clings and wrings out each drop of love from every thought. And it is a very difficult energy to face in a card, and it's fascinated me that this, yeah, I know, Eve, it's a really painful, triggering energy, but look, I was going through it, so it came out of me quite easily. So this kind of pain of heartache is expressed in a card, so that when we're doing a reading, it's like the card can truly help to bring emotions to the surface. One of the things the article talks about is how we're told to forget the person. We're told to move on from the person. And if someone, a friend, says, oh, well, you know, they were a bit like this, you get angry because you're still in love with the person. And I've gone through all that thing of unhooking my love from my ex. And yet I know, and I've always known, I will always have a love for him. And it's just fascinating how science is beginning to appreciate that. So let's now look at the other one, which is also a painful poem, which is Leche. This is the emotional bleed. So I'm fascinated by this one because the symbol is like Lagoon, which is the cosmic ocean, and yet on the side of the cosmic ocean is this tap that's pouring emotional energy out of us. So let's just have the poem from this, and then let's try and cheer up. So here is Leche, the grim harvest seeking balance. Profound heart wound bleeding, grief pouring, emotions soaring, tears raining down ceaselessly, pain after pain after pain, and you can't explain it away. Feel it, bleed it, pour it all out until you and it are almost broken from exhaustion. Now, see how clearing pain makes space for new treasures deeper in your heart? So, it's bringing back memories, I'm telling you. I almost don't want to do this. So, let's just it's also why poems are created, pop songs about heartbreak. I used to work in the music industry in Britain, and it's interesting that most people, there are more songs written about breakups and heartache than there are about being happy. And when people are heartbroken, they go inside themselves and they become creative. And it's easy when you're melancholy to tap into that energy. There are far less songs written about being happy, and yet they outsell sad songs because we all want to be happy. There's so many gorgeous people walking by. So look, about being happy, being stable, being in your emotional celestial city. That's the first card that's come out. So the energy I'm getting on this is there's no one around. There's no one in this city. But you've got to find self-love. Yeah. There's a lot in the rune deck that is about teaching us to self-love. And it's important in heartache, in pain, to do things for ourselves. We tend, as caring people, to willingly spend as much time doing things for someone else, cooking a meal for someone else, than we would for ourselves. And one of the things in part of the articles I read this morning was about how it's important to spend some of that time that you would spend on someone you loved, spending it on you. You know, make a scented candle for you. I think this might be Olga. I need to keep an eye because I've got to get across town to go for lunch. She did say she would be watching. She's sending me the address. What time? About 2 p.m. I'm live now. So yes, doing things for you. Cook a meal for you. Spend hours doing intricate things. Make the meal as beautiful, even if it takes 5 minutes to eat it. But it's about learning to change the dynamic of spending time doing things for you. I have 40 minutes left. Thank you, Eve, because I'm sure I'll run over and then I'll be in trouble. They're making paella. Oh, you see, look. I love Peru because I will be doing another reading, not just one, but on the subject of astrolines, because as you know, when I went to Buenos Aires, I was on my sun and my north node line. So I was expecting a guy to ride in on a white shining horse. My destiny was coming, and that wasn't my destiny. My destiny in Buenos Aires was completing the rune deck, which in many ways I've completed the next really big stage. So it's at the printers to do a little soft launch print run to check how they work. So I'm now very close to my Jupiter line, and Jupiter is one of the best lines that you can move by. I'm not near my Venus line, but although I keep thinking I'm ready for love, I'm not sure I am. But I'm getting there. I've got to come back into the world. I've got to talk to people. So we had the Ten of Cups, and the message is move spiritually, emotionally, thoughtfully from your heartache prison to your independence in the real world. You have to connect with you. It's a really important energy. Rebuild your life. And I have been rebuilding my life, but I've been rebuilding my internal life. Now I've got to apply that back into the real world. And that's why I've come to Peru, because there's a beautiful place that you might know of, Machu Picchu, which is near Cusco, the Inca capital. And I had a beautiful romance there 5 years ago. And I walked away from it, which I probably shouldn't have done. But I did, and so I was meant to do that. And I'm going back to Cusco and the Sacred Valley where all the Inca temples are. And then I'll be able to experience reconnecting with the expansive energy of Jupiter. And we'll do readings on those lines as we understand, as I understand them. I'm learning about them. But I'm learning about them not from books. I'm learning about them by experiencing them. So, heartache is about moving towards your emotional completion by looking at who you are internally. Oh, because Olga just appeared. Maybe, maybe not. She must have. I keep seeing everyone saying hello, so Olga must be here. Are you here, Olga? No, maybe not. She'll turn up, maybe. She said she was going to watch. Hey, Wassail, beautiful Olga. I'll be with you for lunch soon. So, moving... Look, what I'm hearing is empty your emotional city. You've got to clean out your emotional city. And that's leche. Bleed everything out. Allow grief, allow sadness, allow anger. All of it has to be removed. And then move to bringing your thoughts back to you in your sovereignty, rebuilding your life in the real world. Because look, none of us want to be the 15% of people that never ever get over love. I'm very excited because I've been working, honestly, 10 to 12 hours every day for the last 2 months. And it's been a lot of time away from all of you. Yeah. So what else would the Paul Huson deck, which I feel this deck was written when he was experiencing the loss of his lifelong partner to dementia. So there's a lot of this pained energy hidden within the cards. Do you know, that's an interesting, there's so many birds here and I love it. I miss the birds. I heard hardly any birds in Buenos Aires. Yeah, we've all got to get over that, Kathy. We've all got to learn to love ourselves. Because if we don't love ourselves, no one's going to love us truly, because we're not being ourselves. We're almost setting ourselves up for false relationships with people. And I think that's really important to consider. We've just got the moon. And in this deck, the moon is all about a flood of emotions. And then the moon in reverse is all about those emotions drying out so that we can transform things. And there's something within this about the separation between the blue and the red dog. That moment where it's almost like the moon is here to deliver this emotion, because look, I am not the person I was when I was dating my ex. The trauma of loving someone with your whole heart and losing them gives you room to grow. And I chose to grow by moving away so that I was alone, so that I could find me. And I also chose to put all of my energy into creating the deck, which I hope will help other people, because the cards in the rune deck have become very much about healing. So, any more messages from this deck? I am reading everything you say because I'm in a different place. So, we've got Lancelot du Lac, and we've got the Knight of Swords. Now, this card always represents bringing a piece of magic into the real world and then speeding up. So the energy I'm getting here is it's slow. And I want to say that there are some parts of this that you will never get over. I will always love my ex. I always want to say his name, and I never do. Because for all of the ways in which I had to demonize him to understand him, I had to pretend that he was a narcissist when we both were, because we didn't know better, we learned to grow. I will always love him, and yes, I don't ever want to look into his eyes again, because they were eyes that made me feel wholly safe. And I want to say wholly loved, even though they didn't, because that was the energy I put into his eyes. That's what I saw. But I do believe, I truly believe, that as a soul tribe person, we have had or will have a perfect life, but somehow when we incarnated this time, our agreement was to cause this pain. And I can't not love somebody who I truly loved. So it's a very difficult thing, because I would never go back into a relationship with him in this lifetime, even if it presented itself. It's not something that would happen. And we all do this thing when we lose someone we love, where we assume that they will see it was something they didn't want to lose, and they will come back and they will say sorry. And it's not true. We go through these pains to get over them, and we should never stay in any form of relationship, and I can't say this strong enough, that has a toxic element. Look at the relationship, learn from the relationship. If you need to, always love them, but do not be with them. You know, we are all entitled to proper loving relationships, supportive relationships. And very often, as the article was saying, we fall into energies where one is more of a carer than the other. And really, we want to be able to move into relationships where both people care equally. So let's move to a different deck and just see what messages another deck might give. Do a time check. 12:22. Olga's here to remind me. I'm guessing it takes about half an hour in a taxi, Olga, to get to you. So I'm going to finish by about 1 and then get myself ready. I'm all showered and clean. It's gone nice and quiet now. See, we need to talk. We needed to talk that out. Yeah, it's really important. Look, that I have a semantic dislike of the word twin flame. And I was talking with Rob the other day, and we were having a little joke about that subject. And I said, I imagine that a lot of people will look at Candle and Condor, Odd and Baldur, in the room deck, and they will assume that those cosmic and the real world candles of our inner self are somehow an energy of twin flames. And it's just not. Yeah, thanks, Holly. I'm very, very excited to go and see Olga. Or maybe even less. Oh, that's good. So I didn't want to kind of arrive at 2 and you're all sitting there with hot food waiting for me. I'm going to see Olga, everybody. 20 minutes. Gorgeous. Macro and micro. Exactly. It's not a macro and micro. Because interesting, Kathy, as you say that, macro and micro, Michael. Am I going to meet someone called Michael? Macro and micro is this whole notion that it's you and a larger version of you, a fear of embracing what the universe is trying to give you. And if a twin flame was a macro and a micro, which I think they often are, one side's got more control than the other. There's no equality. You want 2 candles burning brightly at exactly the same size and intensity. So what would this deck like to add to our subject of heartache? I can hear the song Blue Moon in my head. I flew on a new moon over Patagonia. Well, maybe not. I live in a fantasy. What do we have here? We have the Knight of Coins. It's interesting because there's 2. I mean, there's a sense of that equal exchange that I've just spoken of. That idea of 2 souls being united in equality, sharing everything, riding at the same speed, being on the same level. There's no macro and micro here. There's just a sense of mirroring. And it's the mirroring of the card that reminds me to say that. We really do need to feel that mirroring. Everyone is stealing a car here today. Yeah, lots and lots of hugs to all the lonely hearts. Don't be one of the 15%. Buy my deck and learn how to get over it. It's not my deck, it's everyone's deck. We've got one sticking out. It's the... I can't read that way up. Oh, it's the 9 of coins again. This is beautiful because this is showing a different image to the other one. I've obviously put that one back, but I need to dig it back out again now. This is showing a tribe of broken hearts coming back into their sovereignty. Where's... come on, show me the lady making plans to rebuild her life after a heartbreak. Talk among yourselves, talk among yourselves. Here we go. So we had this 9 of Pentacles, and now we have this 9 of Pentacles. You know, there's something about sharing. You'll notice in the article that I've written, they have a thing called Heartbreak Hotel in the Lake District, and at the moment it's only for women to go to. And they go and they have to put their phones away, and they spend the first night talking about their pain, and they come together, and then for the rest of their course the ex is not involved. It's about reconnecting with the self, reconnecting with ourselves. So that's this energy. To reach this mirrored soul energy, we have to kind of understand the tribal experience of heartache, and we need to praise heartache, and that's what the card is about in the new deck. It's about praising the ability to walk through the emotions, to face the darkness, to transform it in some way. There's a massive bowl of avocados, Olga told me. You need to experience Peruvian avocados. In fact, you need to experience Peru. You need to experience all of the wonderful fruits and vegetables. Olga went shopping yesterday and she bought too much fruit and vegetables because she was so excited to see all the amazing varieties of fruit and vegetables here. And I am so looking forward to papas nativo, the potatoes, the native potatoes. I love them, and I can't wait to go to Cusco just for a bowl of chips with the magical potatoes they make chips with. I love Peru. So we have another card. What do we have? 7 of Cups. Oh, this is gorgeous. It's almost, that's what I've been through. You know, there's a whole world out there. You, all of you, sharing beautiful love. And yet, there I am. I'm like, I can't experience anything but my sadness. And I'm done with that. I've even made a decision that I'm not going to stay in houses on my own. I'm going to go and stay in Airbnbs, and there's another thing called Mr. B&B, which is a gay Airbnb, and go and stay with some people of my tribe, of, you know, people, real people, talk to real people. That's part of, I feel like I'm having a reading for me. Go away, everyone. Oh, we got two more people. What do we have? I'll show you them first. Oh, one's upside down. I'm not doing upside downs today. So that's looking like the 3 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords. So Let's have a look at these two and tell you what they're calling to me. There's something about knotting of the stomach, the tying of the stomach in knots, not being able to process your celestial city, the emotions of things. And like, there's an energy here of sort of like the norms. I know they are kind of men, women, but there's something about how heartache smashes your ability to bring yourself back into the now. You are completely and utterly in a morbid now. You could lie in bed all day crying, and yet there's something about the need to experience that, separating out all of the different aspects of your trauma, your emotional heartache, so that you can build an understanding first of your past, your present, and your future, so that you can begin to align them back up, so that the three norms become a single norm. You become in the now, trusting in the now. So these tangling knots separate you from society. Your thoughts don't allow you to function in a normal society. It's really, there's a really, what do I want to say? It's like a painful, self-induced prison, and yet some of you might say, I didn't choose to walk away, there was deceit or betrayal. But actually, you kind of did, because it was always carved out now. Yeah, beep, beep. There's so many car horns here. And I tell you what, there's a really weird thing they do here. You know, my sexy taxi driver said to me, oh, if you can drive in Peru, in Lima, you can drive anywhere. And I kind of thought, there's no need to be proud in driving like a nutcase. You know, why don't we just make it that we all drive nicely everywhere? Yeah, go and watch Eve. Watch Eve's channel. It's Everlong Mystic. So this seemingly veiled discomfort of heartache, I almost feel like the High Priestess is saying to me, but look, this was written. You were able to come down to experience this so that you could grow. Because most of what we do when we function is kind of done on the hoof. We don't really truly analyze ourselves. We do, as caring, loving people, we tend to care and love for everyone but ourselves. So, what else? That's someone stealing my heart. See, it stopped. When I knew what it was, it stopped. And here we have the Six of Coins. Being in the now. This. Bring yourself back into oneness. Make yourself in the now. And step up to the world. Step back into the world. Bring yourself going. Drop all the shit. You don't need any of it to bring yourself into the now. You have to be in the trust of the now. You can't see all the gorgeous people walking by, but they're beautiful. I'd settle for Peruvian, no trouble. So, the Hanged Man. How long do you want to hang? Do you want to be a 15%er? Do you want to allow heartache, grief, pain, something in your heart? And as I said earlier, science knows now that your left ventricle changes shape and expands, and it's like having a heart attack. Your brain responds, as I said earlier, to this notion that you've been burnt. When you feel heartache, the same parts of your brain light up as if you've experienced being burnt. Do you want to stay hanging there, clinging on to your bags of sadness, or do you want to move this energy forwards? Every time someone gorgeous goes by, a car horn rings. He tried to make eye contact. What else have we got? Time check. 36. Okay, we've got 2. Oh, and a little one just did a little turning at the end. One on the floor and one in the hand. Oh, it's so interesting. What's this one? The 3 of Swords. Heartache is the tower that fixes you. Heartache is the tower that mends you. I just want to say that again. Heartache is the tower that mends you. I just want to say yeah, you have to live with an open heart, not just in the upper realms, but here. We need to open our hearts back up, because heartache is the tower that mends you. If you can experience this pain, you can fix yourself. And what is the last card that came with this set? The Sun. I think it's the Sun. Look, he doesn't know what to do with his pained. His tree of life has been attacked. He's ready to attack back, but it's too late. The tower is coming down. The heart is transforming, and then she's ready. She knows where she's shooting. She knows where she's shooting. She's aiming for love. Carl, will you please stop it? So, I'm going to put them on the bottom in case I need to pull them again. Sniper Sun. And now we're going to go to the final deck. We're nearly on 47 minutes. No, yeah, 47 minutes, 47 seconds. So, let's just keep an eye on that. A card might fall on the 47. 44, 45, 46, 47. That one is the hidden thing. So we have, this is about getting back up, people. Coming back into your true light. Well, no, coming back into a new light. It's different. After heartache, you will always be different. You will grow. It allows you the chance. And the one that came on 47 is the 9 of Swords. And this one's come out in a reversed way, which is a just defiance. So there's this frequency here of moving past the anxiety of the heartache. And it isn't easy. It can take, like it's taken me 4 years. And as I said earlier, I will always hold love for him. I will never, and there are these moments when we let go of things, and yet there are tiny little moments, and it's not every day, but there are little things that just happen that trigger the memory, things you may have shared. One day that caused me to absolutely weep a few years ago was I was pouring off some sourdough starter, and as I poured it down the sink, I was in his kitchen doing the same thing, and it made me very sad. And when I set off on this journey, I threw the starters away, and I made those starters for well, he kind of gave me an article about it, and that's when I got into making sourdough bread. But I don't think of us owning that energy. I think of it as being something I went through and it gave me enormous pleasure, and now I don't make sourdough. Not because of him, but because you can't carry sourdough on aeroplanes. So burn off the anxieties, because you can't be one of the 15%. You have to allow the light back into your life. You have to trust yourself. So again, we got the Knight of Swords. We've had the Knight of Swords before when it was about going back into the world. I like the energy of this one. There's something gentler about this. This has got more of a Knight of Pentacles energy. Often the Knight of Swords goes in swinging his sword and chopping off heads. But there's something 50-50. I just looked up there. Love is a game that is 50-50. You have to be equal souls for love to work. That's what's coming through. So what else do we have just to end this? Just to end this. So we have the Three of Batons. Have vision. It's card 33 as well in this deck. So that's 333. So that's a really beautiful Empress energy, breaking through things. Listen to those lovely birds. And then we have the Ace of Coins. Have a vision for the new life you want to have, that you are meant to have, the life you signed up for in your pre-incarnation contract. Try and remember that that's an entitlement that we 51-51. Mirroring. Everything is about accepting only a love that mirrors. Only a love that mirrors. Wassail, shadow counts. You've come in, but I'm not staying very long, so I'm going to dinner with Olga, lunch, and her family. And then we have Night and Day. And I'm going to show you that card this way up. There's something about two continental plates kissing. That's the energy I'm getting from this. And this is the stars, the cosmos, the heavens. I'm being shown an energy of like an astrolabe, the thing that you turn and all the planets move around the heavens. The stars move around the heavens. There is a predestined energy for all of us where our mirrored frequency comes online, the night and day, everything. And that's making me think of, there's another card, Dej, card 24, that you will see when the cards come out soon. But we have to test them first. We have to give them a little test, see how people go on with them before they're published proper. But I think it will be soon, very, very soon. Kathy's working very hard for me. She's working very hard for all of us to bring us our rooms. So look, have the vision to step into a new life at the cosmically destined moment for you. But you could almost miss that opportunity if you don't shine the light on the shadows of your anxiety. We have to, yeah, a shuffle test, exactly. I am sending you a deck, Eve, but obviously happy is. So let's just see what else there is. I'm very excited because I'm not having to do, I'm not saying I'm on holiday, but I'm not having to do 10-12 hour days. Those birds are going manic. Working on the runes. They're at a stage now where they can be printed, and that's very exciting. And Olga is currently, oh, my taxi. Yes, that's so one sec.
I coordinate a taxi from here.
Yes, please.
He's working here like 12 years with us.
Okay, 1:15.
Very trustable.
Yeah, at 1:15. I'll give you the address.
At what time?
At 1:15.
Alright. If he's gonna tell me that no, he's gonna wait a long time, I will coordinate another.
Okay,
taxi
alright,
driver.
okay, thank you.
Okay.
I lost my place slightly there, but at least now I'm going to. Oh, I was talking about Olga. Olga is now working on the Alchemy of Astrology artwork, so that's very exciting. I was just going to hold up this and say, I'm in room number 1. I like number 1. And then we got the Magician, number 1. So 2 1s, again, mirroring. So let me go back to shuffling, sorry. It's very, very, very exciting. I feel it's interesting that it's heartache, and there is a lot of pain in heartache, and I kind of wondered whether I might uncrack deep emotions, but actually I'm feeling pretty stable. It must be the love of Peru. So here we have the 7 of Cups. We've had the 7 of Cups again. You have to... Heartache is a malady. It's an illness. But we all experience it. And it causes emotional confusion. But we are all the magician capable of changing that. We are capable of conjuring something from nothing, or something from the gloom. Thank you, Llamacy. I'm going to go and see some llamas. He's booking me a taxi, but he said if it's a long way, he'll book for someone else. But he's using someone that's trustworthy. That word comes up so much here. There we go. Don't know whether that one's meant to come. I like the way you unbox a deck, because I can't unbox the runes. It's got to be someone else. So 6 of Coins, again, we're getting repeat messages. You have to bring yourself into the now. You have to combine, separate your past, your present, your future. Analyze you. Analyze what you learned from the heartache, the tower coming down. And then bring your norms back together and be in the now. Trust in the now. And then this card that's a little bit of a hidey hole, 3 of Coins. It's the norms. Look, 3 and 6, this divine energy is taking place. You have to bring all of that broken separation back into alignment so that you can move forwards. I love this little Attila Thoth deck. It's going back to the Italian origins of tarot, but they're all written in French, just for the confusion. So let's pull those back, and then we're just gonna... I'm on 58 minutes, so that's nearly an hour. And that'll be considered a short live. And then I need to go for a wee and get myself ready for a hairy taxi ride across Lima. As I say, I was in a taxi accident last time I was here, so it does put me on edge a bit. Smacked all my teeth together, and then they all started falling out. Maybe I've come here to get them back. That's interesting. 5 of Cups, grief. Final message. Emotional grief empties your heart. Emotional grief empties your heart. The pain, the tears. You're still enthroned in your own sovereignty, but you can't see it because of the pain, because of the heartache. And then, oh, Pallas Athena, widowhood energy. The idea, look back at the pain, look back at the grief, grow. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Look at this pain. No, I know it won't happen again. I know it won't. It was something I needed to go through. I needed to learn to live with no upper teeth for a bit. And it was a 5-year process. So let's see what happens when you look back at the pain years later, when you're healed, when you're over this energy of the heartache. What would you like to say, cards, is there? What's there? Fortitude, strength from being broken. Okay, so it will strengthen you. Your whole world crashing around, you don't need them back. Exactly. This is the strength to look back at the pains, to look back at the trauma. Oh, I can smell furniture polish. See, you got to wipe off all the dust and clean up. But you don't want to be one of the 15% that never gets over it. These cards are all falling down there, and we've got another repeat card. And I think this is probably because it's where we're meant to be. Look, the sun, mirrored souls. You can't have this. You can't have loving bliss if you can't look back at a pained moment. If you can't look back at a shit relationship, you'll never get a good one. But that's what you'll get if you go through. Oh, that furniture polish is almost choking. You need the strength and fortitude of having analysed your life, your shadows, your pains, your heartache, bliss. This bliss is what's coming. There's so many gorgeous men walking by. Why are you doing this to me, Balanco? So, anything else before I go? Anything else? So, he can't sing. So look, the sadness, I did ask for it. The sadness, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. That's what this is. Wow, I hate that song. But that's exactly what this energy is. Do you want to live in this devil energy, this devilish moment of saying, I still want them back. It was a shit relationship, but it was, I loved them, and it was my only relationship. And then widowhood, that energy again. It's just this, you can stay in this 15% if that's the way you want to live your life, or see what the or is. What's on the other side? See, that's an emergency. That's hearts being stolen all over the world. Or, again, or you could change that notion of separation from them and yourself. Look, it's interesting here, this patriarchy hidden underneath, because they define that energy where people fall into carers and receivers, and the carers feel the pain more than the receivers, because the receivers will just go and look for someone else vulnerable. Right, last little bit. This Lima's full of crazy energy. I feel like that too. I feel like in Cusco, I need to go to the Sacred Valley because I need somebody tuned into that kind of energy. Because otherwise I'm just going to have another patriarchal taker. Not that my ex is really there. Oh, the truth. Oh, the truth. Oh. Oh look! The truth of the gold, the 15. The truth of just the splendidness. There is something written for you. Why was I trying to make 15 just now? My brain was trying to create 15 for a reason. Oh! This is better than the devil you know. This is the devil you don't know. So this is you moving forwards to just golden, syruped, loving, beautiful energy. That's absolutely wonderful. So beautiful people, we're in Peru. Peru. A place full of mystical, magical temples. Yeah, I love Peru. I've been waiting to get here for ages, and they wouldn't let anyone in. And then they let Olga in, and just all the barriers came down. It's like they'll let everyone back in now. Right, the whole of Peru is now making too much noise, and so I think we'll move to Olga's house. So, everybody, let go of the pain of love, analyze it, and find your way to that 15 frequency. I might start calling that the mirrored energy frequency 15, because in the real world most of the time it's always going to be the devil card. It's always going to be that thing that nudges you in the wrong way, and I think it's time that we try to move into a different feeling. So beautiful people, I'm going to see Olga, and I'll be back. I don't know what I'll do tomorrow. I haven't booked anywhere to stay yet. I might just have to stay here another day. We'll see. We'll work it all out. And I'm not bothered. Yeah, noisy Peruvians. So, beautiful people. It's nearly 67, which doesn't exist. So, we're here in Peru for 3 months at least. And we will have a beautiful time. I'm excited because when I go to the Sacred Valley, I'll be able to take to lots of temples and do readings in situ. I've missed the temples and the huacas and the huancaina. So and the papas nativo. So beautiful people, I'm going to say Wassail, beautiful people, and I'm going to head off for lunch. It's 68 now, year I was born. Ooh. So have a beautiful day everyone. Thank you so much to my moderators and all of you for joining me. I'm really amazed that it was actually about heartache, and yet I feel elevated, I feel strengthened, I feel that fortitude around having worked. I'm following him. Bye everyone. Wassail.